What up, what up? It's your girl, Erica Michelle, and you're listening to my World on Fire radio podcast. I'm an oil-filled wife, mom, Christian, and full-time motivator. I've helped hundreds of women design a life they love, and now I'm here to help you too. I'm an online freelance speaker motivating women across the nation to better health, better marriage, and overall better life. I'm going to show you how to design a life you are excited to wake up to and thrive in every single day. So get ready for legit online motivation with applicable steps you can apply starting right now. Welcome to your new go-to resource for women serious about taking control of their health, wealth, and life. Happy Fired Up Monday. Woo! I'm so excited about today's episode. I've got a special guest and my personal friend. Y'all are not going to believe what she's got for you today. I'm excited to introduce to you guys Dana Glass. She's a powerhouse in her profession. I love connecting with her and excited to share her with y'all. Dana is a mom of two, grandma of six, although we don't call her grandma. She's too young to be a grandma. We call her Gigi. She's Gigi to six beautiful grandchildren, and she absolutely wanted to live a life where she didn't miss any of those mom moments while her children were growing up. But as we all know, life hands us challenges, right? And life handed her some challenges. Her husband and father of her two daughters became an addict. Y'all, have any of y'all had to deal with addiction amongst a spouse, significant other, or loved one? If that's something you've had to deal with, this is going to be the episode for you. Dana found herself with a very tough decision, and I think any decision a spouse dealing with addiction has to deal with. She had the difficult decision between choosing the safety and welfare of her babies or sacrificing for the man she loved. Y'all, in true diva fashion, Dana decided to pack up her babies and move out without a job on complete faith. And holy cow, can you say what a terrifying moment that is in anyone's life, especially as a future single mother of two. Dana says she will never forget walking into that welfare office and how she felt in that moment. She remembered meeting with the caseworker and looking her in the eyes and telling her she would not be back. And she meant every single word of it. As an unexpected single mom of two, she went home and bawled her eyes out. She found herself facing the struggle of what to do to provide for her and her two daughters. This launched her own cleaning business, and from there she fell in love with entrepreneurship. She went on to be introduced to the network marketing industry to generate an additional stream of income to support her and her babies and their extracurricular activities. As we all know, children want to be involved in those things, dance, sports, music, and all of that stuff has to be financed somehow. Dana, through network marketing and her own cleaning business, provided just that. You know, the cool thing about this episode is we are going to be talking about this. Dana contacted a close friend, and that close friend helped her see her passion that she had within her. Dana went on to become an almost 5-figure-a-month income earner, representing products she absolutely loved, and realizing her passion was to inspire others to rise up and walk in their own calling, which takes grit, which is why she's launched the Grit Gang, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Welcome, Dana Glass. I'm so excited to have you on World on Fire Radio.
Girl, I'm over here just crying, listening to you. First of all, thank you, Miss Erica. You have always inspired me to keep pushing myself. Just watching you in your journey, you really light the path for so many of us women to not use any excuse. So thank you for having me on this podcast, World on Fire. I'm excited for the lives that you're changing, my friend. Oh my goodness. Like, just listening to you share my journey, I have goosebumps. Like, sometimes we forget what we're really here for. And our trials, girl, can become the thing, right, that makes us the strongest. Like, I look back on what you just shared, and I think, if I hadn't gone through that, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. Now I'm gonna start crying all over again. For real. Like, I just felt like I remember that moment. I'll never forget, you guys. Here's the funny story to that too. So later on, I went back to college. This is not a part of our podcast, right, Erica? I went back to college, and do you know that welfare office? I ended up becoming a manager in that welfare office later on. I ended up being the girl on the other side of that chair because I just refused. I refused. That woman, I'll never forget the look in her eye. Like I think she thought I was crazy, but she didn't really know what was in me. And yeah, I'll never forget that day. It was truly a life-changing day for me. And that's why we need girlfriends. That's why we need friendships. Girl, I'm over here just bawling.
Woo, hallelujah and amen. And you know what? The cool thing about that is she didn't need to know what was inside of you because he knew. God knew what was inside of you, and praise God for good girlfriends and friendships to allow you to explore and navigate through those emotions and those feelings to come to that place where you can dig deep and find your own grit, right?
Yeah, sister, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So we talk a little bit about obviously that friend that supported you in that moment, right? Really birthed something inside of you. So that kind of answers the question a little bit of, have you ever had any friends that supported you? Y'all ask yourself, do you have any friends out there that support you? We're going to dive deep and talk about those that do and talk about what happens with those that don't and why it's important to support your sisters. Y'all, we all need each other. We need to support each other. Before you and behind you is a group of women that have either propelled you forward by standing beside you, or you doing it in spite of their support of you. And it's okay. And we are going to tell you it's okay either way it goes. Sometimes in life, your strongest supporters are going to be people you've never even met before in your entire life, especially in the social media world where now today is the norm, where some of your best friends are actually online. How weird is that?
Amen, girl. So that day, and I want you guys to think about this. This happened it was 23 years ago that this moment happened for me. Man, girl, 23 years ago. So it was before Facebook. I think I did have a cell phone. And I didn't know what I was going to do, because here's the realness. Have you ever had your back against the wall? I left on blind faith. And I share this part a lot. I never asked my parents to move back home with my two daughters. Now, I could have. My parents are very supportive, but I just knew in my heart, I brought them into this world. And regardless of what their father was going through, I needed to make it for them. I needed to take care of my babies. I wasn't going to rely on somebody else to do that. And even though, so I went to the welfare office because I had nothing. I left with nothing, not a dollar to my name. So here's the thing. Sometimes when your back's against the wall, you'll find what's in you. And when I called my girlfriend, here's the thing. She let me bawl my eyes out, because it's not really what I wanted in my life. It's not what I wanted, right? But I had to do it for my kids. I had those 4 little eyes looking at me. And I knew that was not the life for them. And they love their daddy. It was a hard decision. I love the man. He's actually a good man, but he could not get beyond his past. And so he coped with it with the drugs. And so my girlfriend let me cry. So there's moments, sometimes we just need someone to be there, right? Sometimes we don't even need any words in that moment. Sometimes we just need to let it out. But then she said to me, I'll never forget, she said, Dana, what is the one thing you're really good at? And y'all, I'm going to share this with you, because sometimes we're looking for the things that we love to do, right? Like the passion. Sometimes we're looking for, we're walking on our passions. But in order to get there, we have to be willing to do the gritty, dirty work. And so cleaning my house was something I loved. Now, did I want to make that a business? Not necessarily, but it was something I was good at. So I took the thing I was good at. She gave me that thought and I ran with it. And not only that, y'all, she was a friend that supported me, because she got the word of mouth out. We didn't have social media. I couldn't make a post, hey, I'm opening my own cleaning business up in here. It was word of mouth. Y'all know I never once advertised. I literally, within 1 month, I had enough houses. I was willing to drive, within like an hour distance. I had enough houses for 40 hours worth of work a week in 1 month's time, because I made a decision and because a friend gave me the idea.
Wow, man, what an incredible testimony. I'm over here tearing up myself when you said those four little eyeballs, like, oh my God. Something about when your children look at you, you're able to see through their eyes far beyond what you think you are capable of. Because you will pull out, as a mom, you will do any and everything to protect the safety and sanctity of your child's life. And I think any parent can relate to that. I think any parent can feel that on a deeper level and understand what it's like when you've got your kids looking back at you in your face. I didn't even go through that, and I'm tearing up thinking about my kids looking at me in those trying times, in those scary moments, in those times of uncertainty. And this is an incredible testimony to God's love and mercy, y'all. Just an incredible, incredible testimony. So why today are we talking about the importance of supporting your friends? In this social media world, it's so easy to sit back behind a keyboard and hate on somebody, judge somebody, roll your eyes at somebody, have that comparitis spirit in you. You literally will scroll through someone's post and not react to it because you don't want to give them any of your attention. Y'all go ahead and raise your hands. No judgment zone, remember. Go ahead and raise your hands if you've ever actually done that. I'm going to be the first person to be transparent and tell you I have actually legitimately done that in my past. Because for some reason, we either think they don't deserve it, we don't want to be a part of it, it's not something we want to do, buy, or sell into, but sometimes just reaching out to somebody and saying, hey, you know what? I'm proud of you. Whatever it is for that person, whatever it may be, it is going to do something for that person. It's going to propel them. It's going to help them. Even if you never have any intention of buying their thing or joining their team, being a customer or partnering with them, even with no intentions of that, just the words of, I'm proud of you. I see you. Good job, sister. Y'all, that is so powerful. Why wouldn't we want to be that for somebody? Why not? What harm is it going to cause you to be that for somebody? So Dana, let me ask you, have you ever had friends that did not support you? And if so, what did that look like for you? And how did that make you feel?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll just share that situation I just talked about then created inside of me a risk taker. Because here's the thing, once I launched my business and saw that I could do it, that sparked a change within myself. I then realized that me plus God, me plus my actions plus God can do anything, sister. And I think sometimes when you go through those situations and you start growing and other people around you aren't, or maybe they haven't seen or experienced something like that, they don't understand that on the other side of that journey is the promised land as I speak of, as I talk about numbers in the Bible. I don't know if you guys know that story, but I live that story a lot. I replay that story a lot in my head. 12 spies were promised by God. 12 spies went over. The 10 spies came back and said, oh, we can't do it. Only 2 believed. But because of the 10 and what they shared with the people at the camp, they didn't get to go experience the promised land. They all died in the wilderness. And I feel like so many people are willing to just die in the wilderness rather than take that risk. And so as you start to grow and as you start to see that through taking the action, God's going to bless your efforts, not everybody's comfortable with that. And so it doesn't mean that they're not your friends necessarily. It just means that they're in a different space than you are. And I feel like sometimes it's super hard as you see a vision and not everybody's going to see the same vision as you. But you have to walk out what God has for you. That has been the biggest thing I have learned. And let people see that. You might inspire somebody because you're willing to take that action. You're willing to walk out something, even if so I kind of joke now, are you one of the 2? Are you with me? Are we going to the promised land together? Are you going to be a spy that says, oh, we can't do this. We can't do this. So I think the thing is on that is that true friendship, if they're really your friend, they want to see you succeed no matter what, whether you're on the same journey or not. A true friend does.
I totally agree 100%. And it's funny you mentioned that because Dana and I actually used to be in the same network marketing company back when I was in network marketing. That's actually how we met, was through network marketing. It's one of the powerful things about the industry that I love so much. Even though it's not an industry I'm a part of any longer, I still love that piece of it because I've had the pleasure and privilege of meeting some incredible people like Dana. And even though we've since gone separate ways, do different things, we've never stopped supporting each other in that. We've never stopped being friends in that. And y'all, this is important for those of y'all in the network marketing space. When somebody leaves your company that you're with, you don't have to block, unfollow, unfriend, or delete. You really don't. And Dana and I are proof of that. We were able to maintain a friendship through a whole lot of jankiness, y'all. Okay? A whole lot of jankiness. There was a whole lot going on there, and we were able to maintain a friendship outside of all of that just through conversation, through one-on-one conversation. Not through the hearsay, not through the he said, she said, not through the drama behind the walls, but literally through one-on-one conversation. And without that connection and that opportunity to allow that friendship to continue to grow and to understand that we can still be friends and not have any expectations of one another and not be janky and try to recruit one another, that it's important to remember. The friendship in all of that is what should be long lasting, and I'm so grateful and thankful for that opportunity. The other thing Dana mentioned was those times when you don't have someone that supports you and you have to still walk in what God has for you. Y'all hear me when I say this all the time. Never let anyone's lack of vision darken your purpose. Please, please, if you get anything from anything I've ever said before, please ingrain that in your brains, because you are going to run across people who do not support you. You are going to run across people who don't want to have anything to do with what you got going on. You are going to run into people that tell you no and don't want what you have to offer. And it's okay. It's legitimately okay. I recently said the other day, I came up with this the other day, if you aren't sharing your gift with the world is missing out on your gift. God put something inside of you to share, and it's going to look different than the person next to you, behind you, in front of you, and it's okay. We have got to learn to be okay with what our purpose is in spite of what anyone thinks. I had someone reach out to me the other day saying that they haven't shared about something she loved and had changed her life dramatically because her brother was making fun of her for it, and she allowed it to silence her. Do you know how scary that is? To think that one person's negative viewpoint of what you're doing can literally break you down and silence you. Really think on that for a minute. If we walk through life, most of the successful people in the world you see right now, if they walk through life letting one naysayer or one negative comment shut them down, we wouldn't be able to do podcasts. We wouldn't be able to author books and release them online. We wouldn't be able to do half of what we do in today's day and age. If we continually allow one person's negative viewpoint of what we are doing silence us, God, do not ever let anyone's lack of vision darken your purpose. Ever. So with that, Dana, what does supporting one another mean to you? Some people just don't know how to. Maybe they don't have the experience, or maybe they've never been in a position of doing anything to know how to support someone else. Some people think that supporting is buying the thing or blasting it all over social media or being all up in their face and all up in their business. Sometimes supporting others is not anything grand like that. So what does supporting others mean to you?
Well, as you were speaking, Erica, all I could think of was Jesus. I'm a Christian. I believe in God. Obviously, that's what got me through those dark times, was my faith that he was going to bless my actions. But as I think of Jesus, he had 12 disciples, but he had 3 besties. And the religious people killed him, the people he came for, right? So I always think of him, as my example, that if they killed Jesus, not everybody gonna like Dana Glass. So for me, one of the biggest aha moments, and I don't know, I'm going to be very real and transparent on this because this was a good portion of my network marketing journey. And it took me years. Actually, I just figured this out the last couple of years. And it's why Eric and I could remain friends after we both left. So here's the thing. Success is energy. Y'all, success is energy. What you put out is what you'll get back. We get on social media, and if you're an entrepreneur, you really need to hear my heart on this. You cannot get on social media and take a withdrawal without making deposits. You cannot get out of a relationship what you're not willing to put in. And so with friendships, I think a lot of times in supporting one another, number one, I think why we don't do that It's because we feel like as a girl, and we all need to hear this. As a girl, y'all, listen, you supporting another woman does not take away from your own success. And one of the things I had to really get real with myself is I was basically an insecure person and never felt worthy with where I was at in comparing myself on social media to others. Because listen, social media is highlight reels. You don't know what goes on behind the post, right? So we compare ourselves to the highlight reels. You don't know what they've been through. You don't know how they got there. So number one, you cannot compare yourself to that. And so really understanding that you supporting another woman, which can be for me, like Erica just said, it can literally be in just as much as you saying, girl, I am freaking proud of you. I'm gonna tell you guys honestly, I have so many people in my network on social media that are part of other companies that I'm not a part of. And when I see someone succeeding, or I see that they're running for a goal, I'm on that post. You want to know why? Because it takes a lot of guts and grit to do that. And I understand what it takes to do that. Does that take away from my own success? No, because I believe your vibe attracts your tribe. So I'm willing to support my sisters out here that are willing to be entrepreneurs, because it ain't easy, girl. It ain't easy. So I believe in asking your people, even if you're not an entrepreneur, or maybe your goal is to write a blog, or maybe you don't even know what your goal is yet, it's okay. But I believe in asking your friends, how can I help support you? I think we're just not having grown-up girlfriend conversations. I read a book once. It was a game-changing book for myself called Grown Up Girlfriends by Erin Spaulding. I recommend it to everybody, because understanding that your journey is going to change and different friends will be in different baskets at different times in your life. But I also believe that you can tell a lot by a person and those that support you, because here's the thing, do they have scarcity mindset or abundance? Those that have abundance mindset will always support other girls, because they know that supporting others is going to bring it right back to them. Those that have scarcity mindset think there's only success for the few out here. And I don't believe that.
Woo! Y'all, Dana Glass dropping down some truth on y'all today. Dana, do me a favor. Say the name of that book for me one more time, please.
Grown Up Girlfriends by Erin Spaulding.
Okay. You said something that really resonated with me. Your vibe attracts your tribe. And it's so true, y'all. As cheesy as it may sound, it is true. Here's the thing. Everything that you put out is energy. Not only is success energy, but everything you pour your emotions into is energy. Hey, so whether you're pouring your emotions into hating on somebody, or rolling your eyes at their success or milestones, or into supporting someone, rooting them on, showing up for them, hey, sharing that post for them, connecting two people together, hey, you posted you offered this, you posted you're struggling with this, hey, let's connect you two. Whatever it is that you're putting your emotion into is generating energy. And that energy is what you're going to get back in return. So scarcity versus abundance, supporting versus hating, whatever word you want to throw out there, or whatever word you want to call it, all comes back to essentially the same thing. You not being afraid to support someone else because you're afraid that somehow it'll dampen what you have going on personally. I think in certain industries and certain professions, there's a competitive edge or aspect to it. And we think that to remain competitive, we got to keep our markets and our influence and our audience to ourselves. No, not really. You really don't, because bottom line is there is space for all of us. In business, one of the things I always did was I always prayed for God to bring to me the people that needed what I had to offer. And if you're operating from that mindset and that aspect, it doesn't matter if someone else goes and joins someone else's team, buys someone else's product. It doesn't matter if they go and do something that has absolutely nothing to do with what you're doing. If you're praying for God to bring to you what he sees fit for you and what his will is for you, the rest of it kind of shouldn't matter. Because you're praying specifically for those people. I used to pray for God to bring people onto my team where it was his will for them to be there. And if it wasn't his will for them to be there, to impress upon their hearts what he has for their life, which is why I always didn't get upset when people left or choose to do something else, because we shouldn't get upset with anybody else for walking in their purpose, for walking in their vision and what they feel convicted in and compelled to do in their hearts. Because it's not for us to tell anybody else what they should be doing with their life. Y'all have heard me talk about this before, just like it isn't for anybody else to tell you what you should be doing with yours. Dana, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on here. Like, I love our conversations. I love our video chats. I love our interaction on social media. I love all the freaking things because you are just one uplifting person. I love your ability to be able to do your daily dose of Dana, uplifting others and sharing how to overcome different things in life. Because as we've all heard, you've been through it. Life has handed you some challenges and here you are on the other side. Y'all, sometimes when you're in the thick of things, it's hard to see on the other side of that mountain. Just like I've said before, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. How do you climb that mountain? One step at a time. And Dana's life, journey, and testimony is proof of that. So Dana, what final piece of parting advice would you have for women that don't have a support system, or maybe they find they're struggling with a scarcity mindset and afraid to show support for others? What final piece of advice would you give those women out there dealing with that?
So my number one, thank you, Erica, by the way. I mean, I freaking adore you, girl. Like, I just adore you. Like, Erica inspires me to keep moving, you know? And so that right there should tell you something, you guys. Like, number one, I tell my friends all the time and my team this, your network, you are in charge of. You are in control of. I hear so many times people say, I get on Facebook and there's so much negativity. Y'all can hit the unfriend or unfollow button at any time. And I do, let me tell you. And because I want to encircle myself with the people that, now I'm not saying life is always easy, as you just heard me talk about, right? So I'm not saying it's always Pollyanna, but I do believe it's how we look at that. So number one, I believe we're in an age, you guys, with social media and podcasts. I mean, we're listening to a podcast right now. How amazing is that you can have internet besties and never, Erica and I think we did meet one time, right? One convention. But literally, other than that one time, I didn't know Erica, but I fell in love with her spirit on social media and from the presence in the team. So the fact that we have podcasts, the fact that we have social media, you guys, you can literally become internet besties with people that you've never even met. And I want you to understand that's amazing in the season, because when I was at my point 23 years ago, I didn't have that. I only had those that I could physically see and touch. So I believe we're in a society of, if you don't have if you're growing and your friends are not on the same journey, I believe in masterminds. We have freaking Facebook groups out here. You can literally search anything on Facebook and find groups to support your own journey, which is exactly why I'm launching my grit game, the grit game. Because I think so many times as women, we understand what women go through. We understand what it's like to throw. We're juggling all the plates in the air and trying to make sure nothing crashes. Even in the space I'm in, even though I don't have children in my household anymore, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I thought when my kids grew up, it was gonna get easier. I thought I was gonna have all the time in the world. Nope, that's a lie. And I'm telling y'all right now, it's a lie. Because I feel like it's gotten crazier. Because now I don't just have 2 daughters, I have 6 grandchildren. And so now I have 8 that we're hopping for, between doctor's appointments with my daughter, because I gotta go support her, my grandchildren, to, oh my gosh, they're in soccer now. Yeah, all the things in the world. So I went from 2 to 8. So no, it did not get any easier. It did not. So don't think that, oh, I'll wait till the kids grow up. I love Erica for that. She's a prime example of that. You got to do it right through the chaos. I say that all the time. Do it through the chaos. So in today's world, I just feel like we don't have any excuses. Like, I love masterminds. I'm always in a mastermind. I find people, I'm in a mastermind right now for my industry. I am friending and becoming friends with people that are in different companies, and we're supporting each other. We're loving on each other's stuff. And like I said, the grit gain, I'm super excited about the grit gain, because I believe that finding your tribe of people that are going to inspire you to keep pushing, even when it gets yucky, even when you have those tears, even though when life has thrown you those lemons, I say this all the time too, no, it's living perfectly imperfect. I think we're in a space where we think we got to get it all aligned. It's never going to happen. You only are promised today. And so make sure today you're living intentionally. Make sure that you are not allowing your past. I could have allowed what happened to me to stop me. I could have wallowed. I could have stayed on the welfare system, but I made a decision and I surrounded myself with the right people that were going to support me no matter what, because I loved Dana Glass for who she was, not for what she did. But I think that's what's important. So if you find yourself not being supported, you got to go find your people. There's tribes out here, you guys. In today's world, there's so many ways. Podcast. I'm excited for what Erica's bringing to the table right now. Y'all need to make sure you share it with your girlfriends.
Sharing is caring. Dana, you are so beautiful, and I got so many nuggets from everything you just said. Y'all, yes, you can go find your support system out there, but one thing I want to expand upon that Dana said, even without a support system, sometimes you have to be your biggest supporter. Sometimes if the only two people in the room are you and Jesus, that's all you need, regardless of who on the outside world doesn't support you. And I want to encourage you to know that it's okay to be your biggest and stronger supporter. Because how can others believe and have faith in you if you don't have it in yourself? So even if you don't have that person next door, the spouse, or the bestie, or that friend, or parent, or sibling, or all of the people you think should support you, support yourself. And like I've said before, celebrate yourself. Share those milestones. Shout out when you get your first customer. Shout out when you get your first 10 listeners. Shout out when you write your first chapter. Shout out when you sign up for your first class. Whatever it is that you're doing, shout yourself out for. It's okay to celebrate those moments. And you could also find your support system through that, because you will get people rooting you on. You'll get people clapping for you, shouting with you, and for you. And find your support system through being your own biggest supporter. Y'all, when life hands you lemons, you better sprinkle the salt on it and bring the tequila, honey. Yes, I live my life on Embrace the Crazy. ETC is what we call it around here. My husband, Michael, and I sometimes will just look at each other, and I'll just look at him and go, ETC, when he looks like he's about to have one of those moments and about to fall apart. Y'all have to embrace the crazy in life. Don't necessarily wait for your children to get older, grown, and gone out of the house. Don't wait for the right moment, the right time, the right finances, y'all, if you wait for all the right moments in life, you'll never do anything. Because it's not always going to line up perfectly and all be right. You got to take that one moment, that one step, that one piece and fragment of right, and turn it into more right times, right expectations, right finances, right experiences. Like, just take that one piece, just one piece, and step forward. Take the next piece and step forward. That's all you have to do, and just keep going. Y'all, that's what Grit Gang is going to teach you about. If you've been looking for that outside of whatever profession you're in, outside of whatever space you're in on social media, if you've been looking for that community of people that can help you find your grit, grind your grit, stay in your grit, live your grit, Grit Gang is going to be the group for you. Dana, tell everybody where they can connect with you.
Well, I am on Facebook under Dana Glass, and you can't miss the hair. I'm on Instagram, the Gigi Maven. And then, should I say the name of my Facebook group? The Grit Gang.
Y'all, I'm telling y'all right now, go hop off of here, go to Facebook, search Grit Gang, and request to join that group. You are going to find some powerhouse beast up in there, some great information, lots of nuggets, some live videos, and a whole lot of other stuff. And we're going to support her every single step of the way. World on Fire Radio is all over that. I absolutely love it. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Without us supporting each other, what are we really doing? Okay? Take some time and go love on somebody's post. Go reach out to someone and tell them you're proud of them. Go ask somebody about what it is they're doing and get them excited about what they have to offer, because someone is interested in it. It's not going to hurt you. It's not going to shave any years off your life to go and send somebody a, hey, I'm proud of you message. And you'll find you'll feel better in your own life because you just lifted somebody else in theirs. I'm your host, Erica Michelle Best, and thank you again, Dana Glass, for being on World on Fire Radio. I plan on having you here again, so I hope you plan on being here again. Our review of the week is from Michelle. She comments, LOL, I think I'm hooked already. I was laughing out loud and agreeing with everything. Just one episode in, but I had to tell you that. I like when someone keeps it real. Thank you. Awesome job, Mama. Thank you so much for the review, Michelle. I'm so fired up that you are enjoying World on Fire Radio. If you'd like a special shout out on our podcast, leave your reviews and yours may get picked next. See you on the flip side. Thanks for tuning in to another free episode of World on Fire. Now, don't forget to subscribe to the show wherever you listen to podcasts so you never miss an episode. And while you're there, it would knock my socks off if you would leave a review if this episode served you. I promise to read each and every comment, and if you share with me on Instagram, I'll share it too. See you on the flip side.